Thank you for joining us for another episode of Cryptocurrent. Just one quick reminder. Cryptocurrent is a cryptocurrency and blockchain education platform that's bridging the gap between the curious newcomers who are just discovering the space and the thought leaders who are shaping its future. All opinions expressed by Richard Carthon, the Cryptocurrent team, and their guests on this show are exclusively their own opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Richard, the team, and their guests as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or to follow as financial advice. This show and any other Cryptocurrent production is exclusively for informational purposes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a very special guest working on an exchange that many of you have probably worked on. I know myself, I've used this DEX multiple times. It's been really cool to see how it's evolved over the years. We have one of the co-founders of One Exchange, Sergej. How are you doing today?
Hi. Thanks for invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm good. I'm fine. And I have to say, we are not an exchange. We are an aggregator of decentralized exchanges. We have some protocols, but we are a layer above. Like, there are a lot of decentralized exchanges like Uniswap and like 0x limit order protocols, our limit order protocol, our own AMM, SushiSwap, Balancer, Curve, and we're just above them, layer above kind of. We are all kind of partners. We work all together in one great decentralized finance environment.
For sure. And I appreciate that making that distinction, because one of the things that I noticed when I first used it was 1inch goes and aggregates all of those exchanges together to find the best price. And that was something that I always appreciated with being able to go on there, was being able to find the most bang for my buck when trying to get in and out of different types of cryptos. But, you know, before we dive a little bit more into One Exchange, first want to get some background on you. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how it was you were able to start One Exchange? I believe the background on that was you did a hackathon where you were up like 60 hours and were able to help create it. But for all the listeners out there who are just learning about you, can you just give us a little bit more background?
Yeah, it's actually a long story. So my first touch points were like 2013 with crypto, but actually I jumped end of 2016 as some Ethereum miner into crypto Ethereum world. I met Anton through a common friend, and we had a small YouTube channel where we explained people how to read smart contracts, how to write smart contracts. We did security audits on live streams. And one day, Anton suggested to participate in a hackathon in Singapore. My first hackathon ever, TH Global Hackathon. I met Vitalik and found out that it's actually cool space to develop yourself, to improve, and also to win some bounties. We won we worked like only one night and built small prototype. It was also small kind of exchange we used to bundle as set protocol bundles. And we won some prizes from MakerDAO and Kai protocol, and we found out that we can do it every month or 2 times a month. And we did it. We participated in 17 hackathons around the globe. And one of the second in New York over 2 nights. We delivered the first fully production version in mainnet over 2 nights, and actually didn't win anything. Almost we got like $300 from ENS because we integrate ENS. Yeah, and at the end we found out a couple of weeks later that people start using it and sharing with everyone, and we thought, okay, we will continue work on that. So we over the time we were still participating on hackathons. We were in South Africa, India, and some other great places. And in this time, we just worked 1.5 hour years, like in the nights for this project for free until we raised the first round in June 2020.
Which is amazing. Just as, you have a product that's been around for now 2 years. You've seen it mature a lot. There's been a lot of iterations. I know every time I go on there, I see a lot of whether the UI has some updates or whether the back end pieces of being able to aggregate all this data together. It has been a really cool journey to see how much 1inch Network has evolved. Can you kind of just give us a premise of once you had that fundraise in June, you kind of launched V1, if you will. What has been the evolution of 1inch Network since then?
So how I said, we started on a hackathon together with Anton Bukov, my co-founder. And we had also one guy who was helping us, Michael, our lead core contributor for blockchain development, like smart contracts. And we were like working 1.5 years just for free in the nights. I was living in the office because my wife left me and I had to live somewhere, and had my mining office where I had my mining rigs and I was sleeping in between. So with no shower, something like that. It was really hard time for me, but it was also fun, nice time to travel around the globe and just to build such things like 1inch. And after like 1.5 years, we started to hire more people. Nikita came, who helped us a lot, also contributed a lot as a business developer, because we had already a lot of relations with other companies. And as when we raised the first round, we had money to hire more developers. And nowadays we have more than 100 people around the globe who participate as a core contributor in the network, really around the globe. We have in Dubai, we have in Turkey, we have people from Ukraine as well. I have 2 guys there right now sitting in the war zone. Can come out because of the kind of they are not allowed to leave Ukraine because they are men and can fight against Russians. Yeah, it's like the world gonna I don't know, went crazy right now. I'm not wondering if some aliens would land on Earth this year. So,
well, they announced UFOs, I think, like a year ago, so I wouldn't put it past it either.
Yeah, we got some money to hire more people, to work with more professionals. We have really good network of developers because we were traveling around the globe and participated in hackathons. Almost everyone who was sitting on the table and built on own projects when I was working on 1inch with Anton. Almost everyone who was sitting on the table are working now for us, with us as core contributors. It's nice. Really, we of course it's sometimes difficult because we are more than 100 people. You need to communicate between all the teams. We have a team for mobile wallets. We have team for like our DApp. We have algorithm team, and we have also kind of business relation team and a lot of other teams, designer teams who are contributing to the network and try to improve it.
So that is an amazing journey. Sorry to hear like the origin of having to live in office, have your miners going, just being separated from your wife and kind of just persevering through it. What was it about building this project that you saw the vision of what this could be, and to be able to grow, from yourself and your co-founder to, a team of over 100?
Actually, on the hackathon, we just tried to solve own pain. So I guess every successful startup just solve a specific pain in the market. Actually, there was no market yet. So aggregation market was not existing before us. And we introduced it actually. We invented the aggregation among multiple DEXs by splitting. Nowadays, we are routing through multiple market tabs. Actually, we can do it the same with the stock market as well. So maybe we can scale later.
Yeah.
It was like, it was not about money or something. Yeah, it was just, it's like driving a wave. Yeah. We had the feeling that people are using it, it's useful, and we got all the time feedback, or this is nice, we improved it all the time. And this is what drives us, not just like these financial aspects that like I'm now kind of free in what I can do. I love to write algorithm. I write algorithm. If I like to jump to another team, I can do it. It's really nice. And this is kind of freedom. It's also like DeFi is about freedom. And now we have also our freedom. We get our money for contribution, and we can change the world. This is kind of what drives us.
For sure. And let's spend a little bit more moment on that pain. So what was that pain that you were feeling where you're like, I have to solve this?
You know the story behind Porsche? It's like the Ferry Porsche, the son of Ferdinand Porsche. He was looking for a car like a roadster, yeah, cabrio, yeah, and he didn't find it. And he just built it by himself. This is what we actually did. And just build something if you don't find something what could solve your problem. Our problem was, it was highly inefficient to exchange one token or asset against another, because you have to go through all the DEXs. It was like 4 or 5. Now we have hundreds of DEXs. Right. Now it's very complicated, and you never know where the best rate is. You need to go to everyone, compare. It takes time, and you can lose money if you swap on the wrong place. And Anton suggested just to have one D app where you see all the DEXs, you see just a rate, and you select one of the DEXs. And I suggested to introduce an algorithm which detects how many of your source amount should be exchanged where to get the best rate, because you have the price slippage in the AMMs, and it makes sense to just split it in small pieces.
For sure. And it was a huge issue, and unfortunately continues to be a large issue for a lot of newbies in crypto. They hear about a couple of different DEXs, and they don't know necessarily to go check them all to see where you're getting the most bang for your buck. Where are you not losing a lot of your money through slippage? Is it liquid on that particular DEX, etc.? So what 1inch has done is create an interface to aggregate all these different DEXs together and give you that best price to exchange your money. So can you kind of just dive into that a little bit more? So for the brand new listener, for someone who hasn't had the experience of using 1inch exchange yet, can you walk us through all the various ways and use cases of why somebody would want to use one exchange network?
The thing is, we are not only aggregation protocol. We are more. We have also the wallet, non-custodial wallet, to easily onboard new people with NFT and everything. But the core, the main product right now of 1inch network is the aggregation itself. So, I already described before, it makes no sense to go to one of the DEXs like Uniswap, for example, because you never know that there's the best liquidity and the best rate. Maybe there's a limit order from someone which you can feel, and the rate is better, yeah, and you pay maybe less gas for the gas costs for the transaction itself. And if you swap higher amounts like $10,000, $100,000, maybe $1 million ETH to USDC, for example. It makes sense to split it in small pieces on specific parts and exchange on multiple exchanges in one time, one atomic swap. Maybe if you look on a real world kind of example, there are a lot of stock exchanges, and just you have $10 billion in Tesla stock, and you would like to sell Tesla stock. It makes no sense to go to like Frankfurt exchange and to sell it just on this exchange, because the order book is not deep enough, yeah, and you would get really wrong, really, bad rate. Yeah. And if you split in small pieces and exchange everywhere a little bit, then you get the best rate. This is the magic, actually. And our algorithm is highly advanced. It can go through multiple market depths. Like we can exchange Ethereum to Bitcoin and Bitcoin to Uni to USDC to USDT and whatever. It can be really huge graph of ways which are executed atomically in one single transaction. We offer a great user interface, very simple one. You can see the route which we generate, and we compare it right now with Uniswap. So if you swap amounts, if you show that our rates are better or maybe the same, but the gas costs are cheaper than the Uniswap itself because our router is highly optimized. The gas costs are very low. It takes it's around 10% just cheaper than on Uniswap directly because our technical guys wrote really low-level code in assembly and improved the gas costs by better execution techniques, kind of.
Which is great. And to your point, you have so many different things on 1inch, from your NFTs, your aggregators, your wallet, and you even have a DAO as well as a way to be able to do staking, pools, farming. You have different bridges, and I know back when I was first using it, it was on top of an EVM, Ethereum virtual machine, but now you can do it on some other native networks as well, layer 1 protocols, which is awesome. And the more that you add, obviously, the more value that you're bringing. How is it that y'all have gone about deciding which platforms that you want or which protocols you want to bring onto your and onto 1inch?
So the community can create a proposal to deploy on any of the networks out there. We just deploy it on those networks where we have seen TVL, like money, which is stored in AMMs, and also people who are using it. So we are right now on 8 networks. We have layer 2 as well. So, and very soon we will deploy on Aurora as well. They introduce Aurora Plus, which is also cool thing. So everyone can subscribe to kind of to a service where you don't pay for the transactions costs. So it's also a cool thing. It's a new, from our point of view, a new innovation in Web3. So you can just subscribe to a specific tariff and you don't have to pay for each of the transactions. Liquidity is getting more distributed among multiple networks. Bridges are kind of necessarily. We are also looking to aggregate bridges as well, cross-chain swaps, maybe in the future. We are working right now on new kind of version of algorithm and also a new way to swap. Kind of, it's also one more thing what's coming very soon.
Which would be great because I know across bridges that's its own unique set of challenges. For example, if someone has USDT on Ethereum and trying to bridge it over to Binance Smart Chain or trying to bring it over into any of these other protocols, you have to be able to have liquidity on both of those, and being able to aggregate all that together is its own unique set of challenges. But 2022, in June 2020, talk about great timing, pretty much the beginning of what we saw of the last bear bull cycle. And we have, now kind of transitioned at the beginning of this year. Time is June of 2022 at the time of this recording. And we've kind of been in this 7-month downward trend, bearish times, if you will. But the difference is that a lot of companies that have been building up to this point, we've seen a bear market before. We've experienced it. We've been through it. And of course, you always make preparations between, of course, there's going to be your bullish times, there's going to be your bearish times, and you figure out how to endure and to keep providing and creating value to your users during these moments. What are some of the things that 1inch is putting in place to help sustain and get through these bearish times?
So on our side, it doesn't makes no sense for us. It's bearish or it's a bull run. It makes for us no difference. So we are well funded. It's the money is enough for us for work next 5 years. EC. We don't drive Lambo or something, so we are on the ground and working very hard on better products, new things. So we have also our DAO, which can potentially also support us if we need something, because DAO collected already $14 million of revenue from the aggregation protocol, and we can ask maybe for a grant if you need something. In a bearish time, you see maybe more people, more startups working on new products and not forking something and try to publish it and make money with this. What we have seen in the bull run in the last 2 years. Fork of Uniswap, SushiSwap. There's a lot of forks of Uniswap and other products, it's like bearish time is a good time from my point of view for builders to concentrate, to build on something and to improve something what's not efficient and solve pains and problems. But in general, for us, we don't care about the token price itself. 1 inch is equal 1 inch, and it's a utility token, which is necessarily in the 1 inch network itself. We are going to release also other protocols which are which needs the 1 inch token itself. You need to stake to be able to do something. And we are working also on institutional product, 1 inch Pro itself. We are also 1 inch token is kind of core thing. For example, if you would like to have less fees, like on Binance, you can just stake 1 inch token and pay less fees. For institutional. So we have also some other things coming. We are working right now on regulation, licensing, and everything. Also for some extension also for the wallet itself. For example, we think to introduce IBANs, bank accounts in Europe, in the wallet itself. So you have a bank account in your pocket together with your non-custodian wallet. Yeah, there's a lot of things to improve, and I like the silence. If everything is down and everyone is trying to work hard and to just deliver and to be the best. It's easy to kind of get a hype on bullish market because everyone tries to earn money and everything goes up. But if everything is down, then a lot of people are not motivated to build something. But those people who are motivated, they build new things. For example, Uniswap was built in a bearish time. 1 inch as well. So
y'all were. And a lot of the companies that I'm seeing have a lot of success are doing things where they're making a sustainable model. Like you said, it doesn't matter if the market is bullish or bearish, you're continuing to be successful. You're continuing to be self-sustainable, and you can put your head down and build right now. Because of course, when it's nice and bullish and there's a lot of different things to be chasing, there's a lot of noise in the market, sometimes it's easy to pick your head up and try to go pursue some of those things. But when things, like you said, are kind of silent during the bearish times, you can sit down, you can have focus, and you can get some really, really cool product out. And it sounds like y'all are doing a lot of that. One of the things that I think is really been cool to see through the last 2 years is the importance of community and the introduction of DAOs. So you just brought up that y'all created a DAO. Can you explain a little bit more of, what was the purpose of going to that model, and what can your DAO members expect by joining?
We have a 1 inch DAO. from their in the protocols for liquidity protocol, aggregation protocol, how much fees should be charged, and so on and so on. Nowadays we have multi-sig who can propose something, and we have a snapshot in place. So it's like not on-chain voting, but can also introduce a transaction on-chain in the multi-sig itself. So right now we collect all the revenue into when we introduce this kind of treasury before one each token was distributed, which was bought on the market by the protocol. And it was distributed to the stakers. Also for such scenarios like what we have right now, everything is down. And now DAO can, for example, propose to buy back and burn the token itself, or buy back and store in the treasury a bit later to contributors, core contributors. Right now we have USDC it's cool, or have at least a value of $14 million actually.
Yeah.
And this so, and in the DAO itself, for sure you need some maybe delegates to be able to. It's normal like everywhere else. Yeah. The team can propose a new protocol, and each network contributor team. Everything is possible. We have a grant program which is completely independent, and distribute some still 1H tokens to just also have to not live in the office with no shower like me 2 years ago. They have still some money to build on something.
Right, which is great, and providing those resources for your community to keep building and to be innovative and keep pushing 1Inch exchange, 1Inch network forward. Now, you've given us a lot of information. There's a lot of really cool things that are happening with 1Inch. But as we kind of wrap up here, I always like to finish with a couple of fun questions. And the first one I want to propose to you is, with all the information that you have at this moment, with everything that you've learned, if you could go and impart 1 to 2 pieces of wisdom to yourself when you first got started building out 1Inch, what would you tell yourself? So you mean what I would tell to myself years ago? Yeah, so, some wisdom. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change anything. Everything what's happened, all the mistakes what we had as well. It's a learning process. It's a development process also of myself, and I wouldn't change anything. So to rephrase it, to make mistakes. You need to make mistakes to learn, to develop yourself. To go with that, I was going to say, like, if you were talking to a brand new person then, so someone who has not built this, has not gone through a bear market yet, what would you tell that person with the wisdom that you do have? And I think you're getting to it. You need to make mistakes, which I think is really important. But, what are some other things that you think would be valuable? It's like in BJJ, it's all the time. So you need to know that someone else is better than you. There's still one human who's better than you. And in BJJ, it's like, it's kind of, you do sparrings, you fail, but you win and you improve yourself. And if you do mistake, you learn on it and you improve yourself. And I suggest to everyone, just if you fail, stand up, do it, try it again, improve yourself. Absolutely. I think that is some really good feedback. And Sergej, as we wrap up here, what is a final thought that you want to leave with everyone listening here today?
contribute to Web3, develop this space. This is the future.
Absolutely. Sounds great. What are ways that people can connect with you, learn more about 1inch and follow all the amazing things y'all have going on?
1inch.io is the landing page. You can find almost everything what you need to know as a developer, a potential contributor who would like to apply for a grant, or to understand which protocols are existing under 1inch network. We have Telegram groups. We have also a Twitter account. So follow the Twitter account.
For sure. And a big old audience over there. I think like over 1 million followers. So they got a big and growing community. So make sure you go and check them out. All the amazing things that you have building. We really appreciate you dropping some knowledge on us, giving some really good wisdom. Appreciate your time today. And of course, for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.